I'm still having trouble wrapping my head around the idea that last year we were celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Mega Man Battle Network franchise, and I kept on thinking to myself, well, last year we didn't get to see even the slightest crumb of information about this franchise making a comeback. It's never happening at all. Lo and behold, Nintendo Direct goes and drops a big fucking bombshell by Capcom that they are giving us the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. Big ass title, lots of words, doesn't matter, smiles for miles, fucking yes indeed. This is the type of shit that I live for, something that I have honestly badgered the living shit out of Capcom for I don't even know how many years. I mean, shit, I've name-dropped it time and time again, just little crumbs here and there whenever I possibly could because I love it to death, and I want it to just kind of stay somewhere in people's memories, but then tagging the official Capcom Twitters over and over again, just anytime I could come up with something that was a decent Mega Man Battle Network meme, I'm just like, here it is, remember it's a franchise and we all love it, and of course, I don't know how many threads, Facebook groups, and other sorts of shit out there just had people saying, man, I really wish that stuff would happen. Me too. Never going to happen. Yep, we're just going to relish all of this depression, aren't we? Sure are. And then we stew in it, because that's the only thing that we really could do. Granted, we can go back and play the little cartridge versions of the games, except for getting hard copies of the game is going to cost you an arm and a leg, and with inflation, honestly, our internal organs really aren't worth as much as they should be, at least not what they were a couple years ago. But you can always emulate, that is an option. One, I might add, will give you access to 2 Japan-only Mega Man Battle Network games that just so happen to be fan-translated. Yes, we can actually understand it. That's fucking wonderful. Look at these thumbs up right here. And one of them is a crossover with Star Force. So for all the Mega Man Star Force fans out there, I mean, it's Mega Man Battle Network, Star Force, and look at them just, you know, this. It's just good news. Like, honestly, the only thing that sucks about it is this shit isn't happening until next year. It seems like all the big game announcements that I keep on getting real excited about are next year. So this year I'm just like, I want to have my Mega Blaster, why can't, my Mega Buster. I was just like, Mega Blaster, that's all I really want to do. I want to go run around throughout ACDC with LAN and with Mega Man EXE. I want to go on adventures. I want to go and stop Wily and all these other fucking assholes from committing cybercrime. I want to be like the digital versions of Chris Hansen, going and tracking down viruses, beating the shit out of them only the way the Mega Man EXE can, and it would be so fucking fun to do once again on current gen platforms. That's the big selling point on this. Don't have to go and emulate it. Granted, it is an option and it is free, but this, I mean, shit, the last time that they released these was, God, the Wii U? So it was like 2014, 2015, some shit like that. The idea that that happened all the way back then on the eShop, and we've had all these years to just kind of wonder, are they ever going to do anything? And now they are. And since we have the Battle Network Legacy Collection dropping, I'm just thinking, like, does that mean we're just like one step closer to getting Legends, right? It has to happen. I mean, Star Force will probably end up coming up first well before that for whatever fucking reason, but the idea that we're like right on the cusp of it. They're running out of Legacy Collections, folks. They have to at some point, right? Unless they decide to go and do some shit that would be even crazier, like Breath of Fire. Like, look, Capcom and RPG should happen way more often because they are fucking phenomenal at it. But a Mega Man RPG, this shit, we're going to be taking multiple strolls down memory lane, I assure you, because it's kind of hard not to. Again, over 2 decades of this series being a big-ass deal. And how many entries in it? I mean, we've already got the 6 entries that'll be in the Legacy Collection, which is going to be chopped in half, by the way. So looking at the Mega Man Legacy Collection and Mega Man X Legacy Collection, and this one, all chopped in half, and then you get the 2 parts to it. Most of my memories with the franchise and most of my personal experience lie with the first 3 games, and I only played Mega Man Blue. So Mega Man Battle Network 3 Blue, all these fucking names. They Pokemonized it. Yes, it's going to be a term, we're going to slap that shit on there, because they did. I mean, you know, you were able to go and battle each other and go and trade shit, and then they started splitting them up into 2 different entries where it was just like, look, this one has this content, this one has this over here. I'm just like, you motherfuckers. take my money. It's just like, honestly, you want to empty my coffers of every single zenny that I possibly have? Fine, Capcom, you can go and wring the shit dry. If you're going to give me stuff like this, yes, I'll go and do it. Even if it's going to put me in crippling debt, but I'll at least be happy and have games to play in a van down by the river, but it doesn't matter. I'll still have something to play, and it'll be on Switch, so I can't play it on the go. I'm dying a little inside at the idea of it, but seriously, this is good-ass news. Yes, I have to go and make jokes as much as I possibly can, but this is a big deal because none of us really thought it was going to happen. Like, we never thought, oh yeah, Capcom's going to throw us a bone. We just kept on thinking that they're going to fixate and focus on everything and anything else other than Battle Network, because Mega Man, you know, despite the fact that the Blue Bomber is a big deal for Capcom's entire history, it doesn't really get, like, as much love as it should. And, you know, when you got numbers like what Monster Hunter does and what Resident Evil does and what Street Fighter does, I kind of get why they don't pay as much attention to it, but it doesn't mean that you can't market it in such a way that it couldn't just do explosive big-ass numbers once again. And Battle Network series was making money hand over fist. Zenny, I know it's Capcom, but still. And shit, this had a spin-off of, what, anime and manga and shit, which I never actually watched the anime or the manga. I think it's like Mega Man, Battle Network NT or some shit like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they have adaptations of those. Never checked them out. But with all this news dropping out of nowhere, thanks to Nintendo Direct, I was just like, maybe I will. I mean, shit, I have watched the Ace Attorney series, which is great, by the way. Season 1 and 2, chef's kiss everywhere. It is so fucking good. And probably a good time to go and talk about it, because just the other day, Ace Attorney was trending online, and then there was clown titties everywhere, and I wasn't complaining, honestly. It was actually really fucking great, but for those that actually know, it's also depressing at the same time, so the smiles get turned right upside down. But then we realize we can just go right back to the fanfic, and then it go right side up again. Anyway, so let's jack in. Haha! That was the most perfect segue. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Mega Man Battle Network, besides the Legend series, is one of the funniest fucking things that they've done. Like, the dialogue in it is enough for me to go and sell you on this shit. If for whatever reason you're just kind of like, I'm not really sold on it because I never really got into Mega Man, but I like RPGs, or, you know, vice versa, trust me, you should play it just for the dialogue alone, because it's fucking hilarious. I mean, the main narrative, it does have a couple plot twists in it. Granted, you see them coming from a mile away, but they are still really good, and honestly, I appreciate the shit out of them. And it's kind of early on where most of those things take place, or at least as far as I know. Again, haven't played 4, 5, or 6. Heresy to longtime fans, yes I know, but eventually I will play them. Maybe this Legacy Collection will get me to go and do that. But if that doesn't sell you on it, the graphics, amazing, the music is fucking awesome. It's a Mega Man game, again, so while you're not mega busting on everything that you possibly can, or inside your shorts at the announcement of this coming out, this right here is going to be some of the best fucking music that you hear from it, and that says a lot. And apparently it's going to be unlockable along with like artwork, character portraits, portfolios, a whole bunch of shit. I was just like, dude, that's really cool. I'm glad that we have these extras. They're like, there's a filter on there to smooth things out. I was just like, no. No, no, no. I fucking hate filters for old school games. I just want mini rant real quick. Every time that they have some kind of like CRT filter or the smoothing filters, especially the smoothing filters. I get why people get nostalgic about the CRT ones, but most of the time they're really not as authentic looking as they could be, and they look kind of janky, and I'm just like, fuck all that shit. But the smoothing ones, oh, that's heresy. Like, give me my crisp, just sharp edged pixels. I need that shit as much as humanly possible. When you go and smooth all that shit out, it looks ugly. I mean, it just does. It's no bueno. No, thank you. I do not want it. But the idea of all these other unlockables, the entire soundtrack, and it's like 180 tunes or some shit. It's also on Spotify and it's on YouTube and however many other websites that you can go to and just download the soundtrack. As a matter of fact, you should hear one of the tunes playing in the background right now. See, isn't that wonderful? I'm probably gonna get hit with multiple copyright strikes now. Capcom's gonna come in, kick my fucking door, and be like, heard you downloaded our music. And I'm like, that might be true, but you have to catch me first. And then grab my gun and fucking run away, and I have all the authorities after me. And then suddenly it's just like net navies are chasing me down, and just some horrifying fucking post-apocalyptic future and shit. And it's just, I don't need that for my heart right now. Should have like a Mega Man themed like E-Tank defibrillator on hand just thinking about all this shit. But this shit will be coming out next year. Yes, I'm going out on tangents. I'm allowed to. I have ADD and tons of different thoughts going through my fucking head right now. It's like a little squirrel is inside there just fucking around with a bunch of stuff. But this is just something that makes me happy. It's something that I really want to talk about, and it was a big deal to me. I mean, the Nintendo Direct had so many good announcements. The fact that we're getting Persona games on Switch outside of, you know, the Persona, like, Q games and shit, which is awesome and stuff, but we really wanted mainline games. Persona 3, 4, and 5, that's awesome. But this shit right here, this is something I just didn't expect. Persona was inevitable, it just made sense. It's right at home on. I mean, shit, Joker is in Smash Brothers. Motherfucker, of course it was gonna be on Nintendo Switch at some point. It just makes sense. Plus, Nintendo Switches sound like hotcakes. Persona for you, Persona for everybody. Now Mega Man Battle Network for everybody. It can just rain down on all of us and we can be happy. They're making physical versions, which apparently, I think the physical version will have everything on it together, so it won't be one of those deals of, you have to go and buy 2 different versions. I'd be fucking pissed about that. I just hope that we don't have to do, like, download code shit. It just, I don't know. That's one of the only things that annoys me. Make it bust that, make it bust that. I fucking hate the download codes, because then it's just like, oh, hey, wow, I have a part of my game. That's wonderful. Increase the fucking size of these things. Ah, for fuck's sake. Anyway. The games are fun, by the way. I mean, the idea that I got to play this shit early on in my life with my Game Boy Advance, my little flip-top SP, which was awesome as shit, along with like Circle of the Moon and how many other Game Boy Advance games. I mean, that library is overflowing with RPG goodness. It's so fucking great. It really is. Underrated as shit, and I don't know how, because it's sold like billions of different copies everywhere. Like, how many people had a GBA? I had like 2 or 3. Like, that's just fucking insane. But this series was a big part of that legacy, at least for me personally. And the fact that it spawned so many different sequels and shit, I mean, just, dude, that's so fucking awesome. And now it's coming back in a big ass way, in a collection, the way only it could possibly return. So I'm glad that Capcom's actually going and paying it its just dues, because it's long overdue. It's Mega Man Battle Network. It's honestly fucking great. And seriously, like, you're going around fighting a bunch of viruses as a Mega Man EXE character, and you get your little battle chips, which you get to use in battle, but you can go and defend yourself, or heal yourself, or it can be for different various attacks and shit. There's a lot of cool, like, strategy in it that you don't see in RPG combat like that, because typically it's like full-on action or it's turn-based. This somehow gave you like a tactical style grid for you to move around on, and was sort of actiony and turn-based. It's a weird combination, but it all worked and was very unique, and I like that. And it's strangely enough, despite it being from a franchise that's known as one of the best 2D action platformers of all fucking time, this is a really seamless transition. It's the same thing that I said about Yakuza Like a Dragon. It just worked. As soon as you converted one franchise into another, it just made sense. And they did a phenomenal job with this shit, and honestly, like, just go through, play these games when they come out. You won't regret it if you're into RPGs or Mega Man. If you aren't into either, I don't know if you'll be sold on this shit, but maybe look up videos of that shit on there. If for some reason I'm not capable of selling you on it, who the fuck knows? Anyway, please, by all means, Mega Man fans, make it bust down in the comments down below about all your yays or nays if you don't really give a shit about this kind of thing. Who the fuck cares? Like, assholes, we've got plenty of opinions, and it's, you know, I'm just saying, guys, it doesn't fucking matter. Anyhow, oh, by the way, like the video and hit the bell and ring it and all that shit. And I fucking hate seeing all the typical YouTube shit. Yes, I am very glad to be back doing YouTube once again. I went to go and talk about this stuff yesterday, but didn't get a chance, so today seemed like as good a day as any. If you haven't checked out my other videos, I explain where I've been in the Resident Evil video. A lot of people aren't getting notifications, so please, by all means, like, keep tuning in and checking out the other ones. I talk about the Callisto Protocol and Resident Evil 4 Remake and Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core and the next episode in Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy. It's a whole lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff from this direct I want to talk about. I just don't know if anybody really gives a shit enough about hearing me talk about, like, Persona or the new Mario Rabbids game and all the other shit that they went and talked about. Anyhow, it's Mega Man. I'm fucking happy as shit. Capcom, you done did good, kid. So, as always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers game the fuck on.